What do they expect? Professionalism?
Hi, everyone. ANITA FUNITA here. How is everybody? Thank you all for joining in. I'm here without Pat, but I do have Eric here, nameless pick. Oh, it's just nameless or nameless picker? Your
nameless picker.
Nameless picker. So we're going to talk to him a little bit until Pat shows up. We're going to actually talk behind his back since he's not here. Might as well. Okay, we have Borderline Hordish. Hi. Doris, thank you for coming in. Okay, let's see here, Eric. Tell us a little bit about your channel.
I am an eBay reseller only. I do not do Amazon or any other platforms. I have been on YouTube for about 2.5 years, but I've been on other people's shows. I never really did my own channel until just this year. So kind of, yeah, you can find me out there on hanging out with Dusty and Alabama Pickers. I with Scott, the Bearded Picker, I was with his morning show. Me and him started that show, and then due to scheduling with my son for the high school and everything, I just couldn't keep up with being on the show. So kind of let him go with it, and he took over and went all Amazon on me on it. So just it kind of been around for a while. I mean, I know a lot of people in the community and everything. So I'm just trying to build my own channel at this point. But like I said, I primarily focus on eBay, and I sell just about everything. With a more of a hyper focus on ephemera. So,
so you sell everything. That's good.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey Craig, how are you? We're here talking behind Pat's back until he gets here.
We're talking about Pat?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Okay, let's say to a few people, hey Carol, Esmeralda, John Jones, Elise, Rosa, thank you for joining in. We just talked a little bit about Eric and his channel. And Eric, please type something into the chat so people will be able to go to your channel. Please go sub and support everybody on the panel today. We have Nameless Picker and Craig Lanchart Picker.
Okay. Yeah, y'all definitely check out Eric. I've known Eric for a while, and he's very, very, very knowledgeable in a lot of different areas, especially older stuff.
Yeah, Craig. Well, Craig knows how long I've been around, actually. So not too many people do, but Craig does. So.
Tell us about your channel, Craig, for those that just joined and that don't know.
Lanchart Picker. I'll put something in the chat just a second as soon as I get it open. I'm located in Alabama, in the central part of Alabama. I sell eBay primarily, Facebook Marketplace, a little bit of Amazon, not as much as I have in the past. But my specialties are primarily electronics, computer stuff, things like that.
Yeah, I shy away. I don't know why I shy away from electronics. I think it's because I don't know anything about them, and the shipping is kind of hard.
Giant, huge lots, though, too. It's a lot of those big surplus auctions and stuff like that, right, Craig?
Yeah, I like to. I haven't found as much recently, but yeah, that's where I like to get it.
Yeah. I saw your new video, Craig, about the yard sales and then going and picking up all the items that that they don't want anymore, that you get for free, which is a great. I never, I'm sure no one even thought to do that. So that was it. Yeah.
If anybody haven't watched it, be sure to go check it out. It's I subscribe to the free area on Craigslist in my area, in my city, and I get notifications anytime somebody posts something, and it's hard to beat the cost of free. If I can get it free and sell it for $8.99 plus shipping.
Of course.
Yeah.
I sold my first copy of Windows 98 that came out of that this morning, and I got $49 plus 5 shipping.
Wow.
And I've got 4 more copies of it.
More copies, yeah.
So if you haven't seen that video, go check out Craig's channel as well, Lanchart Picker. That video, I learned a lot from that video. I didn't know you can do that. Yeah, that's a really great idea. Hey, Mike, the crazy card is here. Hi, Lynn. Karen at the beach, Nitsa, thank you all for joining in. We're actually here to get Pat to 1,000 subs, and Pat's not here. So I'm sure he'll be here shortly, but let's see. Okay.
Pat who?
Patdees 72.
I'm kidding.
Really, if you turn on YouTube, Pat D will definitely be around. I mean, just on YouTube, it'll be suggested in somebody's video. You'll see Patdees 72. I mean, I think he's doing a cooking show next week, and
he did?
we're just messing.
I thought you guys were kidding. So he's doing
We are kidding.
the cooking show. Awesome.
No, we are kidding. Give him a chance, though. He'll find somebody who's doing a cooking show and be on it. So,
yeah, Pat's great. He's a lot of fun, especially on the live shows. He can be serious, but he's fun to talk with, and just carry on a conversation with. He is very knowledgeable. So everybody,
and he's an excellent. He keeps the conversation moving. He's a real good interviewer. He likes to talk to people. He asks the good questions, and he can really keep a show going, which is really important when you're doing a live show. I mean, if the audience is not super participatory, or they're working and can't really get into the chat, Pat's really good about keeping it going. So we'll give him some props there.
That's so good. He's the one with all the good questions and great ideas.
And he's a hoarder of epic proportions. So
yeah. Hey, John, come on in. Where are you? John's in the chat. And hi, Todd. Todd's in here too, Flipping Hustler.
Todd had a big announcement a little while ago. Did y'all see that?
He didn't. No, I missed that.
It was like a 1.5 minute long premiere. He's going to be on Pete Craigslist Hunter's channel on Friday night.
Oh, cool.
Wow. Okay, that's great.
So everybody be sure to.
Yeah, please go support that. Is there already a link up, or is it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, well, we're waiting for that.
I knew that was in the works, but I didn't know it had been scheduled already.
Right. So what we're talking about is Patdees, and we're trying to get him to 1,000 subs. Everyone. He does a lot of flea markets. He's trying to go live, but he's not able to because he doesn't have the 1,000 subs yet. And he's having, he's trying to videotaping everything, taking it home and putting them up. But he would love to do lives. And if you're not already subbed to him, please go do so. I did put his link down below in the description. And we're going to wait for him to get on so we can start counting how many more subs he's going to get today.
He's sitting at 865. So he's really showing some growth.
Oh, yeah. I've only had like 336 or something like that. So.
Yeah, so sub to everyone on the panel as well. Hey, Misha. Hey, Delona, Lynn. So we're trying to get Pat today to 1,000. We'll see how that goes. If Pat's on the freeway on his way here. Yeah, so I was going to ask Pat this. I'm going to ask you guys too. Okay. What was your best sale that you've had? Like, what was the most, profit that you made out of a sale?
I bought a box lot at an auction. And I've talked about this before, I spent $7 on the box lot. I bought it primarily because there was a magazine article about an old kit car that I really enjoyed when I was growing up. And I just wanted the article. I had no idea what else was in it.
Okay.
When I got home, I literally put it in the back room for a month. And my wife was going through it, and she found some vintage car brochures. And these were all from Europe. And it turned out I had a letter that this guy, he was in the military in England in 1952, and he had sent a letter to the Ferrari Manufacturing Corporation requesting some information. So I got 2 Ferrari brochures and a letter that was actually signed by Ferrari himself. And I flipped that on to a guy in Belgium, and I got just a little bit over $4,200 for that piece.
Wow.
And then I sold the rest because there was Aston Martin, a bunch of different brochures that were all from that same time period. I made about $5,000 off that $7 box.
Wow.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
We haven't that high yet.
Those are rare. I mean, those are what you live for, but those are rare. But I mean, you get cool stuff all the time. It's just, if you're not out there looking, I mean, here's a great piece I just picked up over the weekend, and that's a Titanic postcard.
Oh.
And that is Titanic in Britannia. And what's cool about this is actually dated in 1910. So this is 2 years before the Titanic went down. So this should go, I just listed it. I'm hoping to get somewhere between $400 and $600 for this one postcard. So,
oh, goodness. Wow, you're finding some good stuff.
So hopefully that'll go well.
Not bad for a piece of paper.
Hey, yeah. John. Pat's finally here. John joined us too. Thank you.
Yeah, hey, give me a couple minutes. The plane just landed, and I had to walk up here to the studio. What a mess! Give me a second. I'll be right back.
We were just grilling you. No, we were saying nice things.
Maybe you. The other, never mind.
Whatever.
Hey.
Probably one of my best finds. I bought a pallet of electronics from one of my local auction houses, and it was from a local city school, and it had some Cisco networking equipment. I think I paid $90 for the whole pallet, and I sold 4 main pieces and made great money. I sold 2 pieces for $499. I sold 2 pieces for $299 each, and that was each. And there was other stuff on there, but and all those 4 pieces sold within like a week. So, but just having that knowledge, I could see in the picture there were typical auction pictures where they were fuzzy, and I just knew that it was money when I saw it.
Well, and you were buying quantity as well. I mean, which is the nice thing. That's what I have really kind of been researching my soul lately about what, should I go out there and buy single pieces and spend a lot of money, or should I concentrate on what really has built my business, which is buying in quantity? And then, then you spread your costs out over 100 or 200 items. I think to me, it's just a better model. And I need to get back to that type of model myself. So
yeah, those 2 things kind of go hand in hand, because, you can, if you drop your average cost per item and potentially raise your average sale price per item, it'll snowball.
Yeah.
Right. And for me, I think it was the Bakelite beads that I got, that I had quite a few of them. And I sold them each for, they were different prices. Some of them sold for $500, some of them sold for $400. So it totaled about like $2,700 for.
Nice. Jewelry is one of those things that I've got boxes and boxes of stuff, and I know zero about it.
Yeah.
So I buy it when I see it, but it just kind of gets put into a box over in the back room, and I'll get to it one of these years.
Yeah, jewelry is a good seller. My main niche is jewelry, but I do sell other things as well. But it's mainly jewelry. What about you, John? What was your best find and biggest sale? Is John?
I've had a couple. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I've had a couple. I bought out a parts department at a dealership that went out of business, and I think my bill that day was $230, and I'm still making money off that today. Probably made $6,000-7,000 off of $200. So that'd probably be the best. But that was just, right place at the right time, and not being afraid of the hard work, because it was a whole parts department. We took 3 or 4 vehicle loads out of 3 vehicle loads out of there, and I had to come back and get a little bit more when we were done.
Yeah, that's having the space to store it, having the wherewithal to actually dig into it and do the work of the research and part numbers and all that stuff. I mean, it's easy to list, but there's a lot of work that goes behind something like that.
There is.
Where do you all store your items? Do you keep them at home? Do you have storage units?
Right there.
right here next to me.
Yeah, because I know keeping it at home, mine's are all at home and downstairs in the garage. But as it accumulates, it gets overwhelming. When I see it, I think to myself, is this really, should I get a storage unit? Should I keep it here? I mean, for me, it's just, I keep it at home and in the garage. Where do you all keep the items?
For me, I have a bi-level house, so I have 2 houses. I have one bedroom that's dedicated to online, that's listed inventory. It's located. I can go find something by looking at my listing and tell exactly where it's at. And then I have about a 12 by 15 space that's unlisted. But I also have, I have over 2,000 listings on eBay, but I've got about 8,000 items up because I have multiple quantities. But I have a lot of paper goods, and paper and smalls, they store really well. I use filing cabinets, and I've got a filing cabinet that's got over 4,000 items in it. So it's not hard to store smalls if you concentrate on this. I mean, if you buy computer stuff like Craig does, you can't store 4,000 of them in a room. So.
You mentioned filing cabinets. I saw this on I don't know if everybody knows Destiny, the Shamrock Pixie, and Tommy the Bargain Effect. They use filing cabinets to hold all their clothing, which works out really well. So when you need clothing sellers in the chat, they polybag everything, and it just lines up just like files, and it's.
And you can buy filing cabinets at auctions cheap, $1 or $2 per filing cabinet.
Yeah,
I'm right back. My son just got home.
They're heavy, but they line. You could just line up a whole wall of them, and they.
Right.
I always thought that was amazing when they showed me that the first time.
Yeah, mine are smaller items, so they're not that hard to store. It's jewelry, you can put them pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to get into other things where I'm buying like design, like household goods, and vases and things, and different items, and it's getting harder and harder to store, especially when they're glass.
Oh, I'm sure it's a big change from primary jewelry where you can get 100 pieces in a little foot and a half box. But yeah.
Now when I go downstairs and it's like I have 3 huge, those double door, the ones in front of your garage spaces.
Right.
And when I can hardly close them because they're so full of stuff and I don't even know what's in them.
I use these good size totes. I don't know what size that one. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but it's
the Tupperware bins.
Good heavy duty shelving.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the metal shelving. Mm-hmm.
I think I got 2 of these at my thrift store for about $20, and they worked out really good.
Oh, okay. Pat, are you back?
Yeah.
Pat,
The ticket that you gave me to fly in wasn't the best airline.
So Pat, how are you doing? Tell us about yourself. We're doing meet Pat today.
I appreciate it. I like the opportunity to come on different channels and kind of meet. I'm trying to push to 1,000. I'm about 135 away, so I know that you have a little bit of a different audience and much bigger than all of us here. So. Actually, I got here and they wouldn't let me get down the road, so I had to walk.
Really?
They're paving out front, and they never told us they were going to pave here. So that's where I'm at. And my car is parked probably about a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile away, so I had to walk in the grass and throughout to get here. So I'm sorry for being a couple minutes late.
No, it's okay. Just tell us about like your channel, and I know you do flea markets and things like that, and thrift calls.
As we do a weekly show with Kimberly and Destiny, Shamrock Pixie and Borderline Hoarders, and that's like an interview format style where we bring on guests and then we talk to them about what they're doing as far as commerce. Somehow related to entrepreneurship and selling things online. And then typically on Tuesday and Thursday mornings, I was on this morning with Scott, the bearded picker. And then I make videos on flea market flips. I do, I've done yard sales. I try to put out probably about 3 to 4 videos a week doing different things, all related to reselling on Amazon or eBay. There's a couple videos on there that is personal as far as day trips and stuff like that.
Okay, I see. So what are the main items that you lean towards buying? Is there something specific, or do you just
anything that pretty much can sell that's within my budget? I try to meeting more and more people on YouTube. I'm trying to expand and gain a little bit more knowledge, because I'm, in all honesty, I'm probably selling items that aren't very profitable for the work that's involved, flipping items that are $3 to $5 to make $1 or $2. That's where I'm trying to expand, eventually getting to a point where I can make $10 or $20 an item, because then you don't have to move as much.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing. I know I'm needing to improve in that area as well. Raising that average sales price.
Yeah.
How much?
My average sale price
Yeah.
is only around $23 right now. But what I'm going to start to do as I started getting back into doing storage units. I'm going to put some stuff to the side and eventually start doing some flea marketing on the weekend where I'll set up and sell, because some of those items, they're still worth probably $5, but nobody wants to pay the average $8 shipping cost to get it.
Yeah, and shipping is. I don't know who was saying it the other day that the shipping prices are going to go higher. I think it was June.
Yeah, they just. I think this month, is it June 23rd?
Sometime this month, the dimensional shipping.
Yeah.
Well, dimensional shipping's already in there. It's just going to get a little tighter. I mean, I was trying to ship a package today, and it's actually underneath the rules, the old 107, 108 inch rule, but When I put it in, it's trying to charge me $30 for a 5-pound package, and it shouldn't be that much. If it was within dimensions, it would be like $10 to ship it. So I end up having to ship it FedEx. But yeah, the dimensional shipping is going to be tough on people who sell larger items.
I had saw another YouTube video where someone actually broke it down, and they said the calculator is actually not right, that it's overcharging as far as the U.S. Postal Service. I recall, I think it was like the box was 14 and a half, and I rounded up to 15, and then it was like 13. So instead of rounding up, I actually rounded down by that half inch, and it made a difference of $8.
Yeah.
And that's a lot for the same size, box. So sometimes you gotta, in my post office, I mean, you're not cheating them or anything. If it's, instead, because I used to be like, oh, if it's 14 and a half, I would say 15. If it was 10 and a half, I would say 11. And I'm finding that by doing that extra inch all 3 ways around is making it, sometimes throwing it into a different category as far as what they're charging.
Yeah. It used to be, I mean, you said you had 108 inches to play with, but now it's going to be a lot tighter.
Yeah.
But again, there's other alternatives. I mean, FedEx does dimensional as well, but it's not as bad. They're used to handling a little bit larger items. So that's what I typically use. Jason uses UPS. So it just depends on where you ship it. You just have to take it into cost of business, and if you're uncomfortable with it, just do it as a calculated.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder if it's going to push a lot of people to move in towards calculated that are not already there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do calculate it most of the time, anyways. But I will, like, when you do this long enough, you get smarter. It used to be like, okay, you weigh the item, it was 2 pounds. Well, then you got to factor in, if the box weighs 4 or 5 ounces, you got to put 2 pounds, 6 ounces. And because then that pushes you, as you guys know, into the 3 pound, and it could make a difference of $3. And there again, when you're selling low items that are $10, $20, and you might have only made $5 or $6 on that item, you don't want to be given $3 of that profit to cover the shipping cost. If it's something that somebody wants, they don't mind. They'll pay the shipping, I feel.
But I think we've just proven a point over the last few minutes that shipping can make or break you in a business.
Oh, yeah.
You don't understand it.
Yeah. And I calculate to where, let's say I live in California, and what's the farthest away from me, the farthest I can go. I just take that zip code, and that's how I put the calculated.
If I've got something I'm worried about shipping costs, I'll use 90210.
Yeah.
Okay, let's send it there. And of course, I do that, it goes to Puerto Rico or something.
90210.
If I overcharge in shipping by like more than $1, I'll refund people. I've already done it where somehow I think I had the weight of the jeans, like for example, and it came out to be, it was supposed to be $13.55. Actually, it probably would have been $13.55 had you not been able to take advantage of the padded flat rate envelope. So then I put it in there, and I refunded the person $3.
I never refund shipping.
And how do you ship?
I ship everything. To me is a flat rate price. My first class is $4.95. My priority mail is $8.95. I have a few other levels as well, like because I sell a lot of like slides and photos and things like that, and I have a few different scales. I'll bring like a single slide. It's $3 to ship it, or a CD is $3.25. But that's most of my first class shipping goes for between $3.50, $3.75. So I charge $4.95, but my shipping cost is also my materials. I mean, a padded or a stay flat mailer is usually 30-40 cents for each one of those. So I figure that costs into. I could drive to the post office every day.
Right, the label.
Figured in the label, my time, the whole 9 yards. So to me, I if it was something that was just majorly way off, then I might work with somebody on shipping. And I combine shipping for people. So, I mean, it's not like I'm making it on every item, but
right.
The shipping price is the shipping price. If you don't want to pay my shipping price, don't buy from me.
Right. I use a lot of the flat rates too. I usually use the flat rate padded envelope a lot.
Now, who's the bald guy with the blue T-shirt?
Eric.
Eric, that's me, Pat. You know who I am.
Oh, well, it said nameless.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know who I am.
Eric.
That's the person we're maintaining.
The guy that was supposed to send me a Christmas card last year, but didn't want to pay the postage.
Oh, Pat, you didn't make it on the card list.
I didn't. Well, I'm hoping this year, but the problem is with the rates going. And who's that good-looking fellow with all the pictures on the wall? Like who's that guy? Is he sleeping?
No, he's there. It's John.
He's in his own. He's shaking his head at me. What's going on?
He's trying to say he can hear you.
I find if you just make people mad, then they take you off their Christmas card list. And
haven't mailed a Christmas card.
Christmas card either.
I don't think I've ever mailed a Christmas card, to be totally honest.
I have. I
got mine from Anita last year.
He's got it on the shelf over there.
Yeah, you're back on the list.
Don't send Craig one.
Oh,
That's right.
Every room that I'm in, he votes to kick me out.
yeah, no. I always vote to keep you in.
I'm glad I'm on your channel since you have a little control over that.
Yeah, we don't do kickouts here. No.
All right.
Jason's not here apparently, and he doesn't have. He does have a wrench, but he's not here.
It's today's Jason's shipping day. I know he has all of his auctions in on one day.
Yeah, he was still working on it when he started the day. He had 60 items to ship, and that was actually he started yesterday. He ended up with like 70, but yesterday he did 10, but they were like the really big, huge machine parts. So that took him all day long to get just 10 items shipped up. So I think he was going to try to join a little bit later. Depends on where he's at. I mean.
Well, I was down to the mystery warehouse on Saturday, so I took a lot. He didn't pack one item when I was there.
Of course not. That's a weekend. He was entertaining you, but he hooked you up with a bunch of stuff, didn't he?
Yeah, and that's not why I went down. And I didn't bring the bigger car. I brought the smaller car. And if I showed you the picture, and then on the way home, I had stopped at somebody else's, and I mean every empty space was jammed in.
Yep. I had to leave stuff there for my next trip because I go up there and I have Jason and I, we buy for each other all the time, and we just kind of let it sit, and then we meet up and split the items up and everything, and sometimes get too much. So.
Oh, Banana's here. Hey, Banana.
So it's 35. He's got 5 more to go, and he'll take a break. So
I'm curious to know: is anyone on the panel going to eBay Open?
No. Negative here.
Negative.
Are you going, Anita?
No, I don't. I feel like it's like I feel like we watch each other enough and we know enough as resellers to not to need to schooling as far as eBay Open goes. So it's for me. I think it's just a waste of money and time for me. For me, that is. But
I'm just a little buddy. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't like to go out and do that stuff. Yeah. I end up just sitting in a hotel watching you guys on YouTube. I'd be watching Scott or Shane out while they're out doing the stuff that I don't want to go do.
Right.
And people, content creators, are going to be putting out videos about stuff they learned and things that occurred and all that. You're going to be able to get the information.
Yeah,
eBay themselves actually videos every conference they do and puts a link out there. They'll drop the links out about a month after eBay Live. So it's not like you have to go to listen to what eBay says. If you're in a big group and you want to meet people and hang out, that I could get it. But I'm not paying $350 for just to get into the conference, and then hotel rates. And for me, it would be a flight since I'm in Ohio. I mean, that's not. I'm not going to dump $1,000 to go learn how to sell better when I've been doing this for 20 years.
Eric, you're complaining about $350. You know what Jason charged me to tour the warehouse?
Oh my! Yeah, I feel like.
Did you not have a coupon?
No, I didn't bring no. I
didn't have a coupon for that.
I didn't have a coupon for that.
Didn't have a coupon.
What did he charge you? 3 Subway sandwiches?
No, I'm glad I had stopped to eat pizza before, which is not good for my diet. But I'm glad I did because I got a workout.
Yeah, Subway's where you go to buy subs.
Subway is great for your YouTube channel.
I think that's ridiculous though. Buying subs and buying views. I don't know about that.
What is that?
I'm gonna put in an order for you. I'm gonna put an order in for you, a couple more subs, so that we could just get you there.
I'm 135 away.
Yeah, guys, everyone in the chat, if you haven't subbed already, please go sub to Patdees. We need to get him. We need to get him to 1,000. He needs to be able to do lives.
Yeah, and honestly, there's no reason not to sub to as many people as you want to try, because if you don't want notifications, just click off the notification.
Right.
What subbing does is actually help people get to that point where they can get monetized. And actually, and monetization doesn't mean a lot of money for people. I mean, you have to understand that there's not a lot of money there, but what it does do is it puts a little bit of money out there. Then people upgrade cameras, they upgrade microphones. It makes the channels better because now they can spend money instead of out of their pocket. It comes from YouTube to actually make better content. So, I mean, I subbed to, I don't know, a couple hundred people, and do I get notifications from all of them? No.
Right.
And you can't really judge the quality of content that a creator puts out by how many subs they've got.
Right.
No. And that goes both ways. You can't assume that just because somebody doesn't have a lot of subs that they don't have good information. And just vice versa, just because they've got a lot of subs doesn't mean they put out good information.
Yeah, there's a lot of YouTubers that only have just a few subs, and and they have a lot of information out to give. So you should, that's not a way to judge. Just because
I haven't put out that many videos because I'm too busy selling.
Yeah, just because somebody has 100,000 subs, that doesn't mean that they're pleasant to watch or their content is something that you want to see. So that's not how you judge. So go ahead and please sub to Patdees and everyone else on the panel. Write something in so they can go to your channels. I think.
Yeah, be sure to hit Pat up before you hit us up.
Yeah. No, go ahead and everybody. I mean, it doesn't take anything to sub. You can sub and hit the bell, and if it's something you want to watch, you can. If it's not, you don't have to hit the bell, but the subs do count. Underneath
the new YouTube Studio, there's also something that you can do now is put in tags for your channel. If you go underneath the settings and then you go to channel, there is a section there to where you can put keywords for your channel. So if you're not doing that, that's another good way to get your channel out to the people in the community. And make sure that you've got your little icon set up too, Don. I don't know if you have it done, Anita, but you can, I think you might have the little subscribe down in the corner. You just, make sure that you're doing all that you can do to keep people
and
watching, keep people engaged.
And as a YouTube provider, if you do not have vidIQ, you need to get that. That'll actually help analyze your channel and give you a lot more information.
Yeah.
It's a free service. So make sure you have that, because that'll actually tell you how people are looking at your videos, and it'll give you some insight of how to build a better channel. So
I'm currently using TubeBuddy, and it, just like you said, I guess it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
It tells me on the side, what hasn't been done. It tells you check. Thumbnail is
custom thumbnail, in card, beginning card, things like that. So
heart comment, pin comment. It tells you things like that to do.
Hey, John Johnson just subbed to me.
I prefer Johnson myself, though.
No, John just ordered lunch.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. I gotta bring it, John. I'll be there in about 20 minutes.
Okay.
I don't
know if you answered this already yet, Pat. What your biggest sale was?
Of all time, or
what's something that you sold that you made the most money on?
Oh, okay. Well, my biggest sale, and if you look at my eBay thing, I have it. I've sold baseball cards to bulldozers. So my biggest item, biggest ticket item was a bulldozer. I sold that for somebody else and made $500 on that for basically 2 hours worth of work. Myself, as far as this year, I sold some Hugo Italian leather shoes that I bought for $30 at a higher end Goodwill, and I sold them for $200.
Wow.
But I've sold sports. I've sold some stuff. I mean, I've sold $450 cards for people, but years ago when but I don't do that type of consignment no more. It's just not worth it. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to get more than what I was getting, because people don't realize the work that's involved.
Right. And we have Josh saying, I wish I could spend all day watching other reseller YouTubers. Too much good information out there. Yeah, we don't have enough time in the day to watch everybody, but all the people on the panel here have great information. Go sub to them. Great channels to watch. You'll learn a lot from each and every one of them. Like, especially like Land Shark Picker yesterday. I did not know that you can go to garage sales and ask them, if you can, donate the rest of their items and just pick out the things that you like. That's a really great idea. A lot of good information out there. So go sub to everybody and, just go ahead and watch. As far as the panel goes, what are some of your favorite YouTubers that you watched and how you started, your channels?
I watch a lot. I think everybody's going to have a common theme when they first started, because if you go out there and you search for eBay or resellers or stuff like that, you're going to come up on the Casey the Rockstar Flipper. You're going to hit Steve Rakin. You're going to hit Pete the Craigslist Hunter, which all those are good content providers. And I know that's where I started out. I don't know that I have a favorite. I just watch a lot of people, and that's what I would suggest to people: form your own opinions based on what everybody says. Don't trust just one person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I do. Like, as far as me, I am sub to a lot of people, and this is how I choose who I'm going to watch. At the time I open the computer, whoever's on. At that time.
Well, now you're talking about live broadcast, though. Right, with that little red light there to the side.
Right.
That kind of draws people in if you're not doing nothing and you're looking to listen to a live to see what's. There's where I wonder sometimes there is opportunity because there are times not everybody wants to go live. It's very hard to carry a conversation live, but then yet it's easier than making videos because you don't have to edit.
Right.
The thing is, you just got to be able to carry conversation. As far as me, when I got on YouTube, I've been on YouTube for years, but as far as making content, I didn't start till the middle of December when I only had 17 subs. And I actually made a top 10 influence video that, inspired me to kind of do YouTube. Now, for me, my number one people is Rally Roots, just for a couple reasons. Is their energy for being a young couple. They seem like fun, and they're smart business people. I mean, they have a lot of knowledge, and what they did, they created a mentoring group. So they don't just do, they do eBay, they do Amazon, and they have a likability on screen. But I do like a variety of people. Craigslist Hunter, Pete, he's great as far as his business, where people can walk in and he's a good. I mean, you see him. He goes into places and he'll say if it's not, the deal's not going to work for him, he's not afraid to walk away. Where I think people have a tendency to say, oh, they don't even run the numbers. They have the tendency just to buy something because and then they get themselves too deep into it. But now there's a core group of us that seem to follow each other. But if that's only 20 of us, you get like Scott's show that has 63,000 people following him. That's a big audience, and when you're getting 3,000, 4,000 views, that's a big audience that's following him. I follow Taco Stacks, and there is a connection there because he lives in my area, and I've gotten to know him, and that kid is just amazing the last 2 years. As far as YouTube, what he has done. Yeah.
And I think with him it's just entertaining because you're watching the things that he's picking up, and it's not such a long video is the reason why a lot of people watch him as well.
He doesn't do many lives because I think people don't realize to do a live without anybody else is hard because you're basically talking to the screen and you're not hearing nothing back. That old. Are you talking to yourself? You are, and you're just hoping people watch and you interact with the side chat and stuff. Yeah. You get a good group of guys. I mean, there were, I think, a bunch of us, Eric and John, and I don't know if Craig came in, Jason, but I did a show like a week ago, Saturday night, and we went like 2 hours and 20 minutes. And as far as my watch minutes, it's one of the top shows. And it went fast, I'll be honest.
Yeah, you don't know how fast it goes when you're on live.
Yeah, live's a lot easier to do just because, especially if you have 4 or 5 people on a panel, you can really kind of bounce ideas off of each other. And
Right.
you know, it may slow down a little bit. Then somebody says, "Hey, did you see that out like that?" I mean, for me, when I started watching YouTube for reselling back in 2013, just to kind of get myself back in the game. I'd been part-time on and off because I had full-time jobs and everything, but I decided to go full-time for eBay in 2014. And so, you know, the first real one that kind of opened my eyes to some of the stuff that was out there was, you know, Jason T. Smith, Thrifting Board, watched his shows, him and Nadine, and, you know, enjoyed that type of stuff. And just kind of opened my eyes that eBay wasn't just for antiques and collectibles, it was for every other thing as well. And then started hanging out with guys like, you know, Dusty from Alabama Pickers channel, and Jim Bennett, the Just Jim channel. I mean, just, you know, just some of those guys. And I pick up and I watch, if somebody has an interesting title about something, or if they have an interesting photo, I'll just watch it, you know, or just listen to it. I don't really watch a lot of things. I listen to things. But I love the live shows because live shows are just more fun.
Yeah, lives are more fun work because people like the interaction.
Yeah, and that's where the chat is. Being in the chat is a whole lot more. I mean, I'll be in chats a lot of times and just talking to people, just because the chat feeds the live show, and you know, there's nothing worse than a show that's going on and then nobody's chatting, because I mean, got to have that energy because we'll talk about anything. I mean, that's what's being on a live show is about. We'll talk about anything because that's who we are. But if you got to ask questions, you got to say, hey, what's going on about this? What's going on? And then we'll just build a show off of it.
Right. I also like watching, like, when it comes to videos, how people's channels are growing, and, you know, what's going on, what's new, like John, he opened his store. We're seeing how he's putting things together. It's very interesting to watch, you know, as the step-by-step things and how people are growing on this channel.
What's really interesting is kind of the state of reselling on YouTube. It really took a hard nosedive, you know, about 18 months ago, where there was nobody doing hardly any content.
Right.
You had some of the old guys that have been around for a long time, you know, Golden Finger Picker and Craigslist Hunter and everything. They would still put out a video every now and then, but it wasn't like it used to. And then suddenly it's like, just like December, January, you know, I mean, I enjoyed the crowd then. It's like, suddenly it's like, wait a minute, there's a void here that needs to be filled. So you get a lot of newer people on there that are talking about what they're doing. And I think maybe some of that's economy related. And they're not as many people were reselling because, hey, jobs were good and plentiful and paying good wages. So reselling kind of fell off a little bit. I mean, it's hard to say why, but suddenly there's an explosion of new YouTubers out there. And that's great, because new YouTubers means new information and just new ideas.
Yeah. Everybody's got a different perspective on any given topic, and it's neat to hear what, you know, everybody has to say.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Glenn is in the chat. Hi, Glenn. Derek, Josh is saying he doesn't want to do it because I guess he's too shy about doing lives. It's you know what it is. When you do one, the first one, you feel a little bit, you know, shy and uncomfortable. The second one, the third one, you get used to it. So just go ahead and try it. It's like a bad Band-Aid. Go ahead and you know, just pull it off and try it. It'll be fun. You'll be okay. And we have who do we have here? The Bargain Effect. Everybody's in here. Thank you all for coming.
Hey, Harlan's in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to have fun. You want to talk about being uncomfortable? Strap a GoPro on and go to a yard sale. Go to an estate sale.
I got one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it though.
I have one. I did a video where I walked around a flea market, which is actually pretty okay. You get a few looks, but nothing really bad. But to me, I'm not going to go back and do it and talk over the video. So I'm actually talking the entire time. So I'm the guy walking around talking to himself.
Right.
But I have it on a hat, which is a little different than having a strap to your chest. I wanted the angle, but it was definitely, you know, getting out of my comfort zone. I haven't done it in an estate sale because I'm, you know, to me, flea markets is not something I sourced from, so I can actually go out and look around and have fun. But when I'm in a estate sale, I'm like a honey badger. I'm you know, you might walk into a room and all you're going to see is my butt in the air and my head buried into a pile of something. So I don't know if that's going to be interesting or something, or it's just going to be weird. But
yeah, that the GoPro is kind of like I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I did get one for me. It hasn't come yet. But I see Scott, the bearded picker, wearing that, you know, walking around like it's nothing. And I don't know if I can do that, but, you know, we have to try. have to try everything, to have our channels grow, and
I bought the Faux Pro. I mean, I spent like $45. I'm not gonna. I can't drop $500 on a camera. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep using.
Oh my God.
Those type of videos are getting a lot of views, though.
They are, and
that style is getting pretty popular.
It's interesting. Only I think because people are uncomfortable going out and sourcing, and I think if you can teach people to buy better, they'll be better off when they sell. I mean, I always say, you make your money when you buy. If you can do better buying, and people can watch you pass up the thing that they normally buy because there's just not enough money there, and they see something, I pass that up all the time, but you picked it up and you make way more money than they were making on their stuff. It's just another way to teach. That's what I love about doing the YouTube and everything, because it's all about teaching. I mean, I can talk for hours.
Yeah,
Really?
I think we learn a lot from each other. You learn something new from me, I learn from you and John, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of things to be learned. And and as far as yard sales go, I do see a lot of things that people don't pick up, and I'm wondering why they didn't pick it up. And just like that one, the coral necklace that I just recently sold for over $100. Someone had just left it there.
Yep.
And like, okay, I'll get it.
I've got some coral jewelry, I know. So
yeah, coral is it's right now it's hard to find. It's rare. They still have coral, but it's crazy expensive.
Isn't it illegal to take it out of the ocean?
I don't know.
For some reason, I'm thinking that.
I don't know. I'm sure it is.
I don't know.
But yeah, coral goes for a lot. Yeah. So
yeah,
now,
I've got lots of jewelry. I don't know anything about it, and I mean, I've sold some. You can, if it's got a name on it, that's easy to figure out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's the unnamed stuff. When you're dealing with styles and periods and stuff like that. I mean, it's a little bit more difficult.
Well, send me pictures of them, or you can join I have a jewelry Facebook jewelry group where they come in and items that they don't know anything about. They'll post a picture of the item, the back, and the clasp. Someone in there will know what it is.
I definitely do that, because I think I have like 3 bankers boxes full of vintage jewelry.
Yeah, it's like, as far as jewelry goes, if you don't know about them, jewelry groups really help, especially when there's marks that you don't know about. There's somebody in there that knows.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, I did a live show yesterday. I was talking about a knife I picked up. It was just in a box, so I didn't know anything about it, and mentioned the marks on it. And Dusty actually found it. It's actually a Luftwaffe knife, and it's worth about $180. I mean, it was just in a box lot. So
right.
That's the type of thing. That's what's really cool about it. When if you don't know, I mean, either YouTube or Facebook. I mean, there's lots of help out there. There he is.
What's up, everyone?
Got the tab going.
Oh, hey.
They still sell that stuff?
Yeah.
You made it in. That's good.
Yeah, I had to feel like I accomplished something before, having some fun.
Yeah.
How many crates did you have to build?
No, I don't do anything that big, but I did have a few 50 to 80 pound boxes.
80-pound boxes. Wow.
Yeah, not too many, just a few, but they take a lot of time to pack, so it held me back.
That's the ones you use the small bubble wrap on, right?
Yeah, just like Amazon, I'll throw like 2 air pillows in there.
And plenty of void space.
Right. And how do you all ship? Like, do you use USPS, FedEx, Pirate Ship? Which one works better for you guys?
Whichever's cheapest.
Whichever.
the only thing I don't use UPS. I'll use FedEx or USPS, but I do use Pirate Ship if it fits into the Pirate Ship model. Small and heavy, I'll do that. But
yeah, because people are saying everywhere, I hear that Pirate Ship is this, Pirate Ship is this. But when I went to compare it, it wasn't really that much difference.
Pirate Ship, when eBay did their changes back in January, they actually are cheaper than Pirate Ship on a lot of different areas. The good thing about Pirate Ship, primarily for people who are new on eBay, is the fact that it's giving you the commercial plus rates, what they used to call commercial plus, that you get as a top rated seller. You don't have to be a top rated seller to get those rates. You can go to Pirate Ship and get the discounted rates.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mine's are. I guess they're calculating it as a power seller.
Yeah, if you're top rated, you get those rates anyway. And like a good example is the padded flat rate priority envelope is what 830 or 833 or something on eBay, but it's like 860 or something, whatever the price is. I don't hardly use it anymore, but there's like a 25-cent difference cheaper on eBay than it is on pirate ship.
Yeah.
But again, if you don't have the top rated, you're going to pay what $9 or something for that. So it is a good thing for people who are newer, but it's also great if you fall into that less than a half a cubic foot and use 5 or 10 pounds, you're going to save a ton of money using pirate ship.
Small and heavy.
Yep.
I've actually once went, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to even do this, but I did sell something once, and I went into my eBay and I printed an extra label. You know how you print an extra label, and I was like, okay, but because it was so high everywhere else, and it went through, it wasn't a problem. But I'm sure that's a gray area.
Yeah, I mean, shipping is. I mean, if you can figure out shipping, you can be a successful reseller.
Yeah, I think shipping is what everybody's having issues with.
I know I struggled with it when I first started early on. It's tough.
To me, the hardest thing is, and actually the hardest, but it's also the easiest thing to fix, is making sure you have the right size boxes. I don't use boxes. I don't go out and dumpster dive for boxes or anything like that. Every box I ship out is new, unless Amazon happens to send me something and I'll save that box. But I don't go out and just pick up boxes from everywhere else, and there's a cost involved with that. So I mean, I get that I do spend a little bit more, but that's why my shipping is a little bit higher. But if I ship out boxes, I'm going to ship out decent new boxes. I mean, I know Jason uses Uline and gets just tons of different varieties, just because it's nice to be able to walk into work or go down, open up your thing, going, I don't have to worry about finding a box. I know what it's going to fit into.
Let's face it, when you come in the morning and your queue says you need to ship 120 packages, you don't want to start looking everywhere for boxes all over the place.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're pulling boxes out of a dumpster, sometimes you got to worry about the integrity of the boxes you're pulling out potentially. You're putting a box around something to protect it.
Pulling pieces of cabbage out of it.
Yeah. I hear that cereal boxes and pizza boxes are great for shipping.
Oh,
cereal boxes.
I've gotten that twice so far. Cereal boxes. They're like the thinnest cardboard you could imagine.
So what's the craziest thing that you guys used as far as a box goes?
The
cereal box.
I've never used one.
I've never used a food box.
I mean, I've made some really healthy boxes with a variety of several boxes.
I tell you, the hardest thing I've ever shipped, and was just such a pain to sit back and look at, was I had two things. Any time I ship a golf club, but one of the big drivers, they don't fit in anything. Unless you have a very specific box that's it's going to be a fairly good size to have the head, but it's also got to be like 3.5 feet long. It just
like a hockey puck.
Yeah, it's like a hockey stick. I mean, the same thing, just very, very weird. And then I actually shipped to Global Shipping, took care of it, but so I had to just ship it to Kentucky. But I shipped in a cast iron elevator control stand. Like you'd see like the old style movies where the guy is actually operating the elevator. I had a whole stand of that.
Wow.
And that was a pain, but it would cost me $25 to get it to Kentucky, which isn't, it's only about a 3-hour trip. But it was, trying to get a box and then maintaining integrity enough to ship this thing that weighed, 85 pounds.
Well, one time I did ship something, diaper, the diapers for kids. I put something in there and I didn't even flip it over to the other side. I just, taped it up and sent it that way. Yeah, that was the craziest box I've used. But other than that, no. I just use the plain boxes or whatever I can find. The Dollar Trees usually give out boxes for free. I get a lot of my boxes from there. And
Dollar Tree and the Family Dollar stores, they love giving away their boxes.
Right.
The way those companies work is they crush their cardboard in the back. If they have a compactor, a lot of those don't have the sides. They have compactors. They just have a cardboard dumpster out back. But companies don't make any money on cardboard. They give it away basically. The deals is they let the company come in, you put the compactor, and then you pick up the bales and you keep the money from that.
Yeah,
so it's just one of those weird things. But
mine, the one over here, the dollar stores, they're very nice. They give me bubble wrap and boxes, and all kinds of things. If you're, if you know somebody there and and they've given it to you a couple of times, and when you go see them, they already know that they're there. You need the boxes. Sometimes they even keep it for you.
Yeah, I buy all my bubble wrap. I just have it. I buy it from Amazon. Just have it sent to me.
Yeah.
I can't find it locally. If I could get it locally, I'd buy it locally. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that have a local company that provides it, and I've shopped my entire. I mean, I live in a decent sized city and can't get it locally. So I just about once every 6 weeks, I order a bunch from Amazon and stack it up, and I just use it.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of good boxes if you go over to Walmart whenever they're doing their freight in the evening. I get a lot of the little boxes from, they call it the HBA, Health and Beauty Aids, and they work great. You just got to be careful because every once in a while they'll put tampons or something out, and I'll grab a bunch of tampon boxes. And it's a little weird to ship something in something like that because it's embarrassing if you're shipping a car part to a guy in a tampon box.
Right.
That's happened. That's why I bring it up. But but other than that, yeah, you can shipping supplies. And every once in a while, you'll get somebody. It's like, why did you use a used box? And I'm like, well, I'm an environmentally friendly person, and I think it's better to reuse the box so that it gets it helps the environment. Whatever, throw out something like that. Because people think you should buy a new box. It ain't like I'm shipping it in a used pizza box. It's
say you're repurposing.
Yeah.
You're reusing. Yeah. Okay, we have Gemini Drift saying, I received a return bag in a cereal box and also a grocery bag one time, just a regular grocery bag taped shut with a label on it.
Wow.
Yeah, people do not know some people don't know how to ship. So yeah, I'm shocked that the post office took it. My post office wouldn't take that.
I always love the people that sit there and complain about the shipping price.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was talking with Jason about this. I had a guy that they bought a poster, a circus poster from me and they were in England or they're in Europe, and the shipping cost was 12 something. It was first class shipping. It was light. And I was probably actually going to end up losing a little bit of money on it because it's going to be on the long tube, and that really changes the price. Mm-hmm. But he comes back and starts screaming at me that he can get it for $4 from the U.S. And I'm like, okay, you can't. And he's like, well, if you can't do this, then cancel. So I'm like, all right, I'll just cancel it. I don't care. But it's just like there's so many people that just don't understand what it costs to ship something.
Right.
And they just don't get it. Now I have free returns on everything, so even if somebody returns something, they still don't learn the cost of shipping because I just give them a label. But it just amazes me. I go to the post office every day, so I see people walking up to the counter and paying counter rates, and I would have a heart attack if I had to pay counter rates.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember the days when that was the only option, though.
Yeah.
I was handwriting on the box what I was shipping, an address and.
Oh yeah, I remember used to having the labels, the tracking, the little green tracking documents, or the blue ones, depending on signature required ones.
And they weighed every item at the counter at the
right. Yeah, my post office is really strict too when it comes to stuff like that. See, Gemini Drift is saying it was a plastic bag. I thought she was talking about the paper bags.
Well, even the plastic bag is actually worse. The paper bag I could probably have dealt with.
Yeah, my post office would not take that. They would tell me like we can't ship it this way. You need to put it in a box or in a padded envelope.
Wow.
Yeah, see, my post office is really good, but I take care. I mean, I don't mail anything out of my house because I live on a walking route, and they do have a van. They park it on the street. They would pick the stuff up, but they're not consistent, so I can't guarantee that they would pick up my mail that day, even if I put in a request. Yeah. So I drive this post office every day, and I take care of them. I give them gift cards at Christmas. I'm real friendly with them. So I mean that if there's any questions, it gets stopped before it gets there. They scan every one of my items, but it's a small little 2-man post office, so that's another thing. So
yeah,
I've never done the scheduled pickup with the USPS, but I've heard more negative stories about that than I have positive ones.
I have done scheduled pickup. But it's usually the one that does the pickup is my mailman. So he does come and he does scan everything and then he takes everything.
That's nice. I mean, if you've got a good mail person that actually will work with you and understands your business and you hook them up at Christmas and you think about them when it's hot out. I mean, things like that. You can definitely buy some loyalty there. Yeah. But like I said, I probably don't go 2 weeks with the same mailman. I mean, it's just just the way it is. I mean, I don't want to deal with it because again, it's changing all the time, and I'm not going to teach somebody how I have to do this as a business every couple of weeks. For me, that's where my business post office box is at anyway. So I just go up there and no big deal.
Yeah.
Doesn't talking about scanning items, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't Pirate Ship give you the ability to print out a scan sheet for all the items you ship that day? And they can just scan.
They probably do. I don't know. I don't worry about it. Mine will scan them all individually.
I don't get a sheet. They just scan everything with their little scanner. And I can already, as he's scanning them, I can hear my phone going, that it's been scanned.
Nice.
So, yeah, I do get the notification, and I know he is scanning them.
They didn't come pick up our packages yesterday, so guess what? They had 30 to pick up today, so
Oh, okay.
I don't feel bad. It's their job,
Right.
and they don't want to do it, but it's people aren't sending letters anymore. So if they want a job, it's kind of like that's your job now. Is you're going to deliver packages. You're not a letter carrier as much as you are a package delivery service, and that's the future of the United States Postal Service. I think that they should do away with
Right.
so much of the mail that they send out. They should make junk mail very expensive to send, and then work within the parameters of getting it to where they can deliver packages and make it profitable for them. Because I don't know all the problems with the post office, but it seems to work out for FedEx and UPS. I don't know how they make it profitable and do it cheaper, but
the post office, the reason they're not profitable is simply because they have to basically prepay their entire retirement for everybody. So everybody's retirement gets prepaid, and they have to make those obligations every year, and that takes the majority of their profits. And that's a government mandate that makes them do that. That's why when you hear the post office doesn't make money, it's because they're actually doing something that no other business has to do.
By the way, I did want to give a big shout out to our special guest, Patdees icon. Somebody, he always has like the snazziest picture in the business.
Yeah. We love you, Pat. Where are you?
Right. There we go.
Did Pat fall asleep on his own show?
No. Pat, what happened was he was running up to the house to get in there, and he still hasn't recovered. He's out of breath still,
No, my son just came home, and he messaged me on the phone. So he had to park like 5 blocks away from the house and walk up. And I told him, I said, we got a live going on, and I got to give other people a chance to talk too, just because, because these are supposed to be my friends. They think I'm special.
If we didn't bust your chops, we wouldn't be your friend, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Friends is a pretty loose term, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm kidding, Pat.
We love Pat. Pat's the best.
Pat.
Yeah.
Pat.
Well,
yeah.
Jason, did you subscribe to my channel yet?
I've always been subscribed.
All right.
Jason was your first subscriber. You know that?
Subscribe. Go subscribe to
I
Pat.
don't know it's funny. I don't know who was my first, and there's no way to look it because if they have it blocked, you don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know how they know they remember it or how they know it. Is there any way we can? I don't think there's a way we can find out who our first subscriber was.
I don't think you can find out what any given number is, really.
No, right? No.
I still want to know who this John Johnson was that subscribed to you, because I subscribed to you on all my accounts a long time ago.
Oh, I'm John Johnson. Good-looking guy. Yeah.
It wasn't Juan, was it?
Yeah, I
subscribed to you on all my accounts a long time ago.
I'm
so
either
different John Johnson or
no, I'm bantering with you.
We have 2 John Johnsons.
Yes, we have 2 JJs. Don't worry, buddy.
John, you've got 869 accounts. Is that how Pat got 869? I'm kidding.
Okay, guys. So looks like we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow. What's going on? They shutting California down?
No. Oh, we passed the hour. Unless you guys aren't busy, it's fine with me.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize there was an hour time limit. Okay.
No, there isn't a time limit.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody that came on the panel. Thank you for coming in. I'm gonna put everybody's links to everybody's channels in the description. Right now I only have Pat's. I'll put everybody else's in there. Thank you all for joining in. Please go sub to everybody. Once again, hit the bell as well so you'll get the notifications when they put something up. Thank you all for joining. Thank you everybody for the panel.
Can I say before we go? John Johnson, he's going to be on the show, my Thursday show that I do with Shamrock Pixie and Borderline Hoarderish. And we're going to be interviewing him next Thursday. And actually this Thursday, we're Alex Fatman the Flipper was invited on. But so that's what we're doing those next 2 Thursdays.
Okay. Anyone else on the panel having anything special today or tomorrow on their show?
Nope.
No.
That's why I got the special. I got called special for that.
There we go.
I'm
Keep an eye on
later and running around my antique store. So
Right. Yeah.
keep an eye on Jason's channel. He's releasing a video in about 6.5 years.
Right. And go watch John's Subway video. Everyone has to see that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will watch it.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.